What if I was to tell you that there's a magical place
right here in the United States
that by just standing in a certain spot
is rumored to have spiritual and physical healing effects,
amplifying your emotions and intentions and sparking your creativity?
Is there something mystical at play here in the heart of Sedona?
I don't know if I'm feeling any vortex energy.
I didn't feel like I found the vortex.
How can it still be amazing without having to be overhyped or over-mysticized?
This talk blew my mind.
So tag along as we explore the enigmatic vortex energy of Sedona
And the rise of the spiritual Mecca. That was pretty intense. Before we jump into today's episode, we just wanted to let you know that we are releasing a new song in this episode.
So keep an ear out as you watch through our adventures in Sedona here and see if you can guess where we're singing along. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video. We'll share a little preview of the music, and we'll also share where you can download our new song, The Wild and Free.
All right, back to Sedona. We've been on a bit of a spiritual kick lately, challenging ourselves with a meditation practice every day, and the results have been pretty amazing. My general anxiety level is down. So when we had an opportunity to stop and explore Sedona, Arizona, the new age Mecca of the American West,
we couldn't wait to investigate the area and test out the famous vortex energies for ourselves.
we're sure you've seen the Instagram posts of vivid red rocks and lush green canyons. But it's so much more than a pretty picture.
A little over 117 miles north of Phoenix, set in Arizona's Verde Valley, Sedona greets you with a vibrant contrast to what you might expect of the Arizona desert.
The landscape of these bold and majestic red rock formations jutting into the sky out of the lush high desert vegetation is quite a sight to see as you enter Sedona. So we're starting out our Sedona adventure at Bell Rock.
Bell Rock is located just outside of Sedona and is one of the most famous vortex sites.
It's a prominent landmark with a distinct bell shape.
From what I read online, the energy from this vortex is supposed to be conducive to meditation, healing, and spiritual insight. I don't see any signs for where the vortex is. I had looked at like 6 or 7 different web pages. Best information I could get says that you need to go up onto Bell Rock.
We both consider ourselves empaths, sensitive to feeling people's energy and emotions around us.
At the same time, we're a little skeptical when it comes to anything a little new agey or woo-woo.
But we're keeping an open mind and heart to see if we can feel anything here. The view is just incredible.
I know, but you're not. After you do it, you're gonna be like, oh, that wasn't a big deal at all. See?
My fear of heights is really kicking in. Like, really kicking in.
We're about the halfway point of the climb. I don't know if I'm feeling any vortex energy. How about you?
I got too much fear of heights climbing up this way. I mean, it's incredible, but I get a little woozy.
Okay, now that we've just like stopped in the shade and sat for a little bit, I feel like this little bit of electricity, like in my center maybe, and like in the roof of my mouth. It's a little strange, actually. Are you feeling anything?
I feel like I'm buzzing in my entire body. My legs are like wobbly and I feel shaky because of the height.
And you're worried about crawling back down. Let's see if we can be present in the moment.
Yeah, maybe we should meditate.
See what happens. We decided to go a little higher up to find a quiet spot.
Okay, we found a much better path. I think people are just scrambling up like wherever, and that really freaks me out. This is a nice little quite an area.
Well, this area has really got my vertigo going, because it drops down pretty steep right
As
there.
long as I don't have to scramble down there, it's fine. We've searched online and found a number of different theories of why the vortex areas have energy. The most popular finding is an electronic engineer who has hypothesized that the makeup of the formations in the area manipulate the Earth's magnetic pole
And alter human perception, the same way a large electromagnet can throw off a compass.
But at this point, we were feeling very confused about what we should be feeling or how to feel it. I feel like I've calmed down since all the scrambling up the rock.
Do you feel any physical sensation?
No.
I feel less now that we're a little higher up. It's faint, and I don't know if we're even anywhere near where the actual vortex is, or if I'm just really ready for brunch.
So we headed into town to the visitor center to find more information. This map is great and everything, but like looking at Bell Rock where we were this morning, it's just like you go to Bell Rock.
And that's it. That's where the vortex
And
is.
I didn't feel like I found the vortex. So I feel like we need more information.
I think there's plenty of New Age stores in town that'll be able to tell us exactly what we need.
In the 1970s, Sedona gained attention as a spiritual and metaphysical center, attracting individuals interested in alternative spirituality, holistic healing, and personal growth due to the vortexes, areas believed to have heightened energy.
Whether you consider yourself spiritual, religious, or both, there's something here for everyone.
Got ourselves a guide to help us find these vortexes. It was a real quick, easy little read, and it even tells you how to access that energy and gives you some examples of meditations you can do to help feel the energy in the space. But then I also found this pamphlet at the visitor center, and it is a class on the science behind vortexes.
This is Pete Sanders, an honors graduate of MIT with principal studies in biomedical chemistry and brain science.
Of all the books and the research we've done online, this talk blew my mind.
I know I'd be a good doc, but I think I can help people more. If I can bring this stuff out of woo-woo, how can it still be amazing without having to be overhyped or over-mysticized? How do we make it practical?
He founded Free Soul, the 501c3 nonprofit, to provide mind-body education that helps individuals and veterans with PTSD unlock their full potential.
What is this stuff? The things that the Vortex sites enhance.
Like prayer, meditation, creativity, mind-body connection, and personal insight.
We got such a better understanding of how to access the vortex effect.
He doesn't call it vortex energy for a reason.
Sedona has a unique combination of characteristics that allow you to do the vortex effect for getting insight.
He was talking about how this isn't about magnetic energy.
People looked at the red-orange rock and said, ooh, red-orange rock, must be iron in the rock. There's way more iron in the ground in Maine, in Wisconsin, in Pennsylvania. It's more the color.
It's not about people feeling this magnetic pull.
The red rock is so bright and red that it reminds us of sunlight.
You know in brain science that red-orange is neurostimulant. You can't name me any country in the world where the stoplights and stop signs are blue. You want to catch someone's attention, you make it red, red-orange. Sedona is green year-round. Even in winter and even in summer drought, Sedona is vividly green. And that's important because the human consciousness associates green with hope. I made it to another spring.
And the contrast with the red and the green next to each other is what makes this place so special. That was like a big takeaway for me, was to understand that there are vortexes all over the place in nature. You might know some other famous vortex sites, like Uluru, Stonehenge, Machu Picchu, and the Great Pyramids. And there are certain places in the world where those vortexes are stronger or easier to access, and he called them training wheels.
If you don't know how to ride a bicycle, you put the training wheels on, you learn to ride, you take the training wheels off. The training wheels are not mystically magical. They're a method that allows you to tap the magic, the full potential that is within you.
And he talked a little bit about string theory.
We now know that everything, you, me, table, planet, everything exists in a minimum of 10 or more dimensions.
String theory proposes that the universe has 10 dimensions or more. The 4 we observe are height, width, depth, and time, and over 6 other dimensions that are too tiny to be detected by current technology. The vortex effect that you can have at these places is a way that we're actually transcending these other dimensions.
Accessing our soul.
Not in a religious connotation, but in a term used about the other 6 dimensions that we actually occupy, even though we can't perceive them.
You as a soul, and I meant this, and your 6 or more other dimensions, we don't have the technology to build machines to measure into yourself.
I liked how he described humans as an iceberg. Tip of the iceberg is what's seen, but there's actually a huge amount of the iceberg under the water that you don't see.
Superstrings physics basically says this is the above the water part of the iceberg. It's totally real, but it's not all there is. Your birthright is to have access to the whole iceberg. And that's what the vortex effect can allow you to do. Remember those old sayings, we're only using 10% or 40% of our brain power? That might be a statement that we're only tapping the above the water part of the iceberg. So why should we ever settle in our lives for 40% of your potential for insightfulness, creativity, problem solving, serenity, happiness? You deserve the whole 100% iceberg.
With this new knowledge and understanding, we headed out to another vortex site.
Light, blue beauty, mystic to me.
We also learned from Pete that you can't just expect the magic to happen. You need to show up with an intention.
We also learned there's 2 kinds of vortexes. Upflow vortexes are mountains, mesas, peaks, or overlooks, and considered masculine, usually positive, uplifting, and inspiring.
Or inflow, like valleys, canyons, caves, and rivers, and are considered feminine and good for going inward for introspection.
Then there are combination sites, like Cathedral Rock. The first half of the trail to the plateau is upflow.
Further up at the saddle, it's both upflow and inflow.
Choosing an intention that coincides with the type of site will help you find what you're searching for. So sometimes staying at a lower area for upflow can be better, and the way Pete was describing it is that when you get up higher where these vortex effects can happen, it can be real heady. You can get blissed out to the point that you don't really retain any of the benefits that you might have received, whether those are thoughts or inspirations, because when you come back down into reality, you aren't able to remember them all.
That was pretty intense. I felt like it was easier to get to a meditative state than it normally is for me, and I was just kind of enjoying being there. And then there was this moment where, like, I felt all the stress and worry suddenly pile up inside. My eyes started tearing, and I started breathing a little heavier, and then it like all physically drained down and out of me. Like I felt it, like all that heaviness just be pulled down and out. It's pretty intense.
So you could say you are feeling the vortex effect then, huh? You think so?
I think so. I mean, that was
Yeah, you usually don't cry during meditation.
no, and I'm not sad or anything. Like my eyes are just, partly maybe also the sun in my eyes make my eyes water, but it was an intense physical feeling of release.
I mostly felt it with my intuition, and I think that's one of the things. You're supposed to be more in tune with your intuition, and my intuition was saying, you need to go higher and you need to get out of the sun.
Okay, let's do that.
And it got me thinking about how most of my life, like when I see a hill or a mountain or something, like I want to go climb it. I want to go up to the top, like that upflow energy. Maybe that's something I've always been attracted to. I think we should continue this journey on Cathedral Rock.
Night, magic to me, a calling that's true to me, signal to be wild and free.
I'm not a fan of this rock climbing stuff. I'm doing this for you, Don. I can't take it anymore. I just had this beautiful experience, and I'm sitting here like wobbly legs, dizzy feeling. You can go on if you want.
Want to just leave you here the rest of the time?
Yeah, because I'm too scared to go down. I feel bad that I couldn't fulfill Don's dreams there, but where we stopped and sat was the spot where everybody kind of reached and said, I don't know if I want to go any further.
Well, to be fair, that is a Black Diamond Advanced trail that is called rock climbing. It's not called a hike anymore.
We headed out to another upflow vortex site right next to the airport that we thought might be easier to access.
Appropriately named Airport Mesa. Feeling elated that we'd finally reached the summit of this mountain, we found a space to meditate, and I was excited to see if my experience would be any different here.
While it was an easy hike up, it is small and crowded. And some people just aren't respectful of other people meditating. We had this woman behind us yelling, "Take a photo of me meditating! Get a photo of me! Can you feel it?"
While the tourist atmosphere here was not conducive for meditating, we did hike a little further, and the views of Cathedral Rock and Bell Rock were stunning.
We were feeling invigorated though and decided to try one more location that isn't a main vortex site in the hopes of having less crowds. Wow, I was not expecting that.
She didn't read the map.
What is this?
It's the sinkhole.
Look at that massive chunk of rock that fell out of there.
That thing's bigger than the bus. But the sinkhole wasn't the reason we came here.
The colorful red rock, green junipers, and the pools providing water in the desert is considered sacred by the Apaches and Yavapai, as they provided not only drinking water, but a means to attract wildlife for food.
Millions of years ago, water eroded through these rocks and created these natural pool formations.
I wonder how deep they are. Like
Actually, you might be able to see in that one. I don't know. Maybe I should jump in and find out. We could feel the importance of this area, and it was easy to find a space away from people to try and meditate. Here, we found it much easier to quiet our minds, but there was no big takeaway other than the feeling of peace.
But maybe that's enough. Today, downtown Sedona is host to dozens of cute shops and boutiques, and Tlaquepaque outdoor shopping area is a tourist delight.
All these adobe
Full of
structures.
character and built around the trees.
These shops here are pretty pricey.
I didn't make it out without anything. I like that one.
It's really cute. And of course, dozens of New Age stores. But the most prominent place of worship in all of Sedona is the Chapel of the Holy Cross.
Nestled between the Red Rock Buttes, this award-winning architectural feat, built in the 1950s, is one of Sedona's most famous vortex sites.
While Catholic in faith, the chapel welcomes all beliefs and spiritual seekers to pray, meditate, or light a candle. But its popularity makes it one of the most crowded vortex sites.
But has the area always been a mecca for spiritual seekers? Native American tribes have inhabited the Verde Valley area for thousands of years. Sedona was a ceremonial meeting area and a major crossroads for trading routes. They leave behind archaeological evidence, such as petroglyphs, cliff dwellings, and the now restored Pueblo ruins Tuzigoot National Monument.
Stone walls and wood beams almost breathe the lives of the Sinawa, who dwelled here between 1125 and 1400.
They picked a spot with killer views in every direction. What I find so interesting about the way they built these is there's no doors into rooms. You would climb up a ladder and enter through the roof.
With their villages on the top of the limestone ridge, they could farm the hillside below with no shortage of water from the Verde River. Then, at the peak of their civilization, they mysteriously disappeared. Some say the holy men saw the coming of the white man and knew it was time to move on. Or perhaps it was the arrival of the Apaches.
But Sedona is home to numerous Native American sacred sites, and one of them was calling to us to visit before we left.
This morning, we're off to a hike that's a little further out of town. And it's supposed to have a bunch of vortex energy, both inflow and upflow.
I think this is my favorite trail yet. Loving how we're just enveloped by the trees. We've still got these gorgeous red rocks and amazing views, but it feels like the trees are just kind of wrapping around us, giving us a hug, that it makes this place real comforting. Incredible. I gotta keep stopping and looking. It's just too beautiful. Oh, there's somebody way up there.
That's where we're gonna go.
Are we? We've been noticing while we're here that we're both craving something completely different. Don's going for the upflow. He wants to go up. And I'm craving the inflow. I've been looking for the creek bed. And it kind of makes sense too to our personalities. I think I've seen it with us in life, how Don is outgoing. Take advantage of every social situation, where I'm more introverted and value my alone time.
Now, I will say, the whole time we've been hiking in Sedona, I haven't had any back pain or back issues. I felt like I can just keep moving right along. That's kind of unusual for me with my back issues. So maybe there is some healing powers to these vortexes.
We made it up to the secret cave and found that both our upflow and inflow cravings were being met here. Very neat, huh?
Yeah, this is really nice up here.
Yeah, I'd love to actually be inside this cave and meditate, if there weren't all these people here.
So the natives use these caves to live in, so they ask that you consider them a sacred site and be respectful and don't destroy them.
Must be a good spot to meditate. I really like this space. It kind of combined things for us because, you know, there's some upflow here. We're kind of sitting up on a little plateau of a butte, and there's caves all around us and the creek bed just down there. So I feel like it was a good place to combine upflows and inflows.
I haven't had any super profound moments like Mela has.
It was still a pretty good meditation. My younger self came to sit with me for this one.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I got too distracted. Maybe I just had an inspiration upflow because I wrote a song. I tried.
You did? You wrote a song?
Yeah, I kept telling myself,
Well, there you go.
stop writing a song. We're here to meditate.
Well, no, that's good though. Do you remember it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. We started our adventure here to see for ourselves if vortex energy was fact or fiction.
And in this new age capital of the world, we were surprised to gain some valuable insight from a scientist.
We're leaving Sedona with a better understanding of the power of nature and a clearer understanding of ourselves.
We'll be taking some of this vortex magic with us, but we've already made plans to return to this awe-inspiring place.
The wild and the free.
Click on the link in the description to download our new song, The Wild and the Free.
You get a copy of the MP3, which you can play on any device, as well as the cover art, liner notes, and lyrics.
You'll also get desktop wallpaper and screen art for both your computer and your phone.
One love and loving back regardless. Dive in the deep. The wild and the free.
Thank you all for your support for watching the videos and for those of you who support our music.
We love you guys, and we hope this song brings you much joy.